So, why don't we start with hearing a little bit about you personally? Feel free to
Sure.
share about where you grew up or how long you've been living in this area
Yeah,
and what got you into the work that you're doing now.
great. Yeah, so my name is Ken Diaz, and I'm actually a native to Northern Virginia. I grew up in Sterling, Virginia for most of my young life. So, just a little ways away from Fairfax and Leesburg, where I reside now. So I think that later on in life, when I grew up and was trying to figure out what I was going to do with my life, and I decided to enter the world of health and fitness, wellness, went back to school to American University in DC and got a degree, master's degree in what's called health promotion. And health promotion is essentially behavioral change as it pertains to health and fitness. How do we optimize behaviors through psychology, through action, in order to help people get healthier? And it needs to be sustainable, right? Because otherwise, we're going back to what I mentioned about my mom. We're taking these unsustainable methods and shortcuts, and that just leads to a regression eventually with your health.
I think it's so cool that the degree you described with health promotion acknowledges that the psychology and the approach that you take and how you think about it and how you make something that you're actually going to be motivated to do is such a
Mhm.
big part of the picture, not
Yeah,
only, the physical side, because I think so often these things are studied in silos, psychology is over here, fitness is over there, but really, they work together. I would love for you to share with our community a little bit more about what you offer, what those programs entail,
yeah,
and anything else you want to highlight.
sure. Yeah, so I do work with men and women. I don't discriminate. I've also even trained trans people as well. So people of all walks of life. But I would say that most of my experience has been with working with women who are menopausal, postmenopausal, perimenopausal. So, really looking at like the 45, 55, 65 and up range. All of my current clients for personal training are over the age of 60.
And
Everything, right? Yeah, because when you think about it, you think about all the habits that you take on a day-to-day basis as the moment you wake up, brushing your teeth, taking a shower. Maybe you have a dog, you go for a walk. You're trying to get those steps in if you have a pedometer. And then you're also trying to say, okay, am I going to work out today? What am I going to do when I work out? Do I get on the treadmill? Do I try lifting some weights? What am I going to eat today? There's so many things involved with your health. And then to compound matters even more, I've heard folks talk about this all the time. They will hear or read something that shows research points to, let's say, coffee's bad for you. And then a month or two later, coffee's good for you. And so it's like, well, which one is it? So
Mhm.
what works for one person is not going to be a one size fits all approach for the next person. It's just not. And so for me as a health professional, that is cool, that's interesting, but it's also frustrating for the individual because they just want to know, is this going to work for me or not? A lot of people
Mhm.
are cut and dry, yes or no. But unfortunately, health doesn't work that way, even with medications, even with healthcare. So that's
Yeah.
part of the challenge, and that's what I'm here to help people figure out for themselves.
Am I correct in understanding that primarily you focus on group classes that you can do from home virtually? Is that your primary format? And what else should people know?
Yeah, so when I first started my business, I was renting spaces around Northern Virginia, and then I actually got my own studio space in McLean, Virginia around early 2015. It was great for about 5 years, and then, as you know, in 2020. But what I do now is train through Zoom. Occasionally, we'll meet with my classes, my clients in person, especially like outside over the summer months when it's nice out. We do very small, what's called semi-private. So large group would be like exceeding 20 people, very large class. And those exist too. You can go to a gym and take like a large class of some sort. But semi-private personal training allows you to get personalized instruction at a reduced cost than what it would cost you to do private training. And also, yes, I do all my training by and large through Zoom. So you can do it right where you're at in the privacy of your own home. I hate to call it virtual because it's real. And they've been doing it with me for the past 6 years.
And I know On the note of adjusting the approach accordingly, I know that you have been able to adapt exercise programs to people who have, for example, recently had a surgery or another physical change that they're just now trying to figure out, like,
Mhm.
what's safe for me? How can I start
Mhm.
regaining, the ability that I had before with, this leg or whatever it is? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I've had lots of experience training folks who had shoulder replacement surgery, hip replacement surgery, all kinds of knee surgeries, knee replacement, meniscus, foot surgeries, bunion surgeries, gosh, hammer toe, uh, what's it called? Plantar fasciitis, but here on the wrist, the carpal tunnel syndrome, like the surgery. So, you name it. Neck surgeries as well.
Mhm.
And ideal case would be someone who knows they're going to have the surgery. And so personal training can help with regards to what's called prehabilitation, prehab.
Interesting.
So prehab is I'm not a physical therapist, but I can start to help a person become more mobile, flexible, and stronger so that when they go into the surgery, as a result of that preemptive training, they're able to recover faster. You can talk to
Mhm.
them. If anybody is curious and they want to have like a little testimonial from them, they're very happy to chat and say, "Hey, this is what I've experienced. This is why I've been doing
Mhm.
it for a long time with Ken. And I feel like he really helps me move my best and feel my best." And
Mhm.
the proof is in the pudding. So,
Well, I have one last question for you, which is what do you enjoy most about this work?
for me to help them feel their best, look their best, and move their best.
If you are watching today, you just got a little bit of Ken's many insights on approaching health and fitness, and he will be coming back for more sharing educational tips. And just know that he is a resource and he is local and he's very much available to speak with you about new things that you want to try for yourself.
Yeah. I
Um,
think if folks have questions, they're more than welcome to email. Hopefully, there'll be an email address attached to this. But if you have questions, that would be great also to just make short videos that answer some of those questions. So if you watch
mhm.
this video and you have personal questions, please feel free to shoot them my way, and then we can make a short video about that particular question.